Hey, this is Jay from A Stitch in Time in Bemidji, Minnesota, and we're here to teach you the next lesson on how to wind a bobbin for your new Handi quilter. We have two different types of bobbin winders, and your machine will only come with one of them. Generally, if you have the Amar or the Infinity, you're going to get the premium bobbin winder, and if you have the Moxie, it comes with the smaller one, and I'm just going to set that off to the side here for right now. They are both equally good bobbin winders. You have some different features on them, and so I thought I would just show you some of the do's and don'ts for how to wind a bobbin. I'm going to be working primarily with this one, but I will go over the features of this one as well. So let's get started. This is your basic bobbin winder, and you're going to have a shaft here that your spool of thread goes on. You want to make sure that the thread stand is directly above this. If this is cocked off to the side, you need to loosen the little nut underneath here and straighten it back up so that it stays directly above here. Also, if your dealer set it up for you, this pigtail should be lined up or a little bit off the edge of this side of your tension assembly. You don't want it over here, as you'll see why in a little bit. So it's very simple. I'm going to go over, we take a bobbin, and I'm going to insert it onto here. Now I like, as you can see, there's a couple different styles. This is the older style that does not have the slit in it. And this is called the easy wind bobbin because it has that little slit in there. The nice thing about that is it allows you to get your thread through there and wind a cleaner bobbin. And you don't have the little snarl at the end, which can get caught in your backlash spring, in your tension assembly, or just in the bobbin and cause you to have some weird wonky stitches right at the end of your bobbin. The easy wind bobbin is a much nicer system. You have a tension assembly over here. This is just like the tension assembly on your machine, and it goes righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And you don't want this very tight. I'll explain why here in a little bit. So to thread your bobbin winder, you simply take your thread up through the little thread guide above here, through the little pigtail, and then I usually go around the bobbin tension or the tension assembly here, but you have to kind of grab it and floss it to get it in between there. Now this should be nowhere close to as tight or as near as tight as your sewing machine. This is just to keep it snug so it winds nicely. And what I then do is I will take this and oh boy, if I can get my fingers to work here this morning. And I poke it out the thread, out the hole there. And then what I'll oftentimes do, because these little slits in the bobbin can be fairly sharp, I will oftentimes just turn this a little bit to get it started before I do that. And then I'm going to hold the thread loosely and press the start button. I'm going to set my speed to between 3 and 4. I'll explain that here in a little bit. And I get started. Now after it winds a couple layers on that so that it's fully sealed the bottom of the bobbin, I will then pull this snug and you'll see it cut itself off. And there we go. So that's the benefit of that. It allows you to get a nice clean bobbin, and you don't have to grab a scissors and pull that out there at all either. Let's talk about a couple things about you need to be aware of when winding a bobbin. Number one is how much tension is on here. You only want a little bit of tension, just enough to keep it snug. If you put too much on there, it's like winding a rubber band around your finger. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter if you keep stretching it. And that's what can happen here. For instance, let me show you something here. I sacrificed a bobbin for the cause here this morning. And I went and cranked this tension up way too tight. And then I sped the machine way up to the top so that it's stretching out that bobbin thread and winding it tight. Now these are metal bobbins, but still I want to show you something. I took and I wound this bobbin up. I used bottom line, which is a really nice thread because you can get a ton of thread on a bobbin, but it does have stretch to it and it's very thin. And I went and I wound it up, and this is what it was. Now this bobbin and this bobbin were exactly the same size before I started. But after winding it, look what happens. there is play in between here. This is the correct size. This is too large now. So what happens is when you put that in your bobbin case, it's now thicker than it should be, and it's going to drag inside the bobbin case, and you're going to get weird wonky stitches. And it looks normal. You can't tell anything about it unless you actually get something that you can measure it with and to find out. You can sometimes tell by putting them up side by side and comparing them. And sometimes, and this one actually, it's a little hard to show it on camera, but it is a little bit thicker. But the tolerances are so small that you have to be very, very careful for it. So that's where you want to be careful you don't get too much tension on your tension assembly in here. The other thing is I am using an Omni thread from Superior, and so it has a little bit of texture, and it's not that much of a problem. But if I was using something with a shiny substance to it, like Isocord embroidery thread, or Floriani, or Superior has Fantastico or Magnifico. Those types of threads, they're very silky. They're kind of designed for embroidery, but we use them a lot in our long arms. They tend to slide here, and they can actually slide themselves out of the tension assembly on this side. So then what I would do is I would take it and I would go counterclockwise around that tension assembly, and that will keep it from working its way out of the tension. I've had numerous customers that have started this, and when they start winding them, it looks good, but then the thread pops out of that tension discs, and it all of a sudden starts getting really loopy and loose on their bobbin, and then they have erratic tensions when they put it into the machine. When you get done, I'm just going to wind this up here real quick, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So when you're doing this, how fast should you go? Well, if you go slow, at the beginning, it's going to go fairly slowly. But as the bobbin gets fuller, it's going to use the thread faster and faster. So be aware of that. So you could speed it up a little bit at the beginning, but then you might want to slow it back down, because you want to give that thread time to wind on here properly and not just go too fast. Also, because if you have the stretchier thread, when you go faster, it stretches it out more and causing it to wind onto there incorrectly. And so as it's getting close to the bobbin, now I want to stop it and talk about this one more thing. I'm going to tip it up here for the camera. You can see how it's winding on there. It's nice and smooth. Sometimes it'll want to wind in a triangle, where it's thicker on one side than the other. And on the back side of your bobbin winder, there is a little black knob. And if I adjust that knob, that will make this tension assembly go in and out. So that's how you balance your bobbin. Now, it's always going to be normal, because there's no finger there guiding it exactly where it needs to be, to have a little bit of variation from one side to the other. You can actually take your finger right in here and change that if you want to, but it should be very little. If you get that big wedge, adjust your gauge. I'm going to finish this winding off, because what makes the machine stop? Well, if you look on here, you see this little white line that goes across here? That's actually a photo eye. There's a little eye that's reading across there, and when the bobbin gets too full, it'll shut it off. Now, when you get this from the factory, that may not be set where you want it to be, because you can sometimes get the bobbin a little bit fuller than what it is. So the way you would do that is you would loosen up this little thumb screw here, and then you can slide this in and out. And the way you can do it is, what I have done is I have pulled it the whole way back so that it will allow it to fill. It's so full it's going to run off the edge of the bobbin, and you don't want that happening. But then what I'll do is I'll wind it until it is full, and then I will loosen the screw up and slide it over until this little autofill light goes out. And once that goes out, I want to be right at that point. I tighten it up. Oops. And that's how I set for where my bobbin is full. So it allows you to get them as full as possible. So how full should you make a bobbin? Well, think about it this way. When you get your bobbin, if you put a screwdriver or something hard across the edges, there should be no thread touching. The other thing to consider too is if you're using a monofilament, not monofilament, now you could use that, but if you're using a silky thread like an embroidery thread, sometimes when it gets that full, the threads, if there's a little bit of chattering in your machine, they can spool ahead and you can get some loose threads hanging in there that tangle up inside your bobbin case. So sometimes when I'm doing that type of thread, I will have it wind just a little bit less so it gives me a little bit more of a lip at the edge of my bobbin. So it's very simple, very straightforward, and I think it's a great little bobbin winder, and it's way better than what we had before. So let me show you what it's like for the Moxie machine. The Moxie bobbin winder is very similar to the other one, and it does not have some of the same adjustments that we have over here. At least they're not quite as easy. But again, you have, I'm just going to take my thread back. Again, you have a stand in the back that you put your thread on, and you want a thread guide. Now this one is collapsible, so you can put it away, but that also means that when you put it up, you want to make sure that it's not turned, some weird wonky, area. You want it to be directly above the spool of thread. So you're going to come up across here, and on the back side of this, see if I can show this here, there's a little hole, and you want to go up through that little hole. And then again, for standard thread like this, I would go around the outside of the bobbin tension, thread tension setting. But if I was doing isocord or embroidery thread, I would go the other direction to make sure it stays in place. And then just like this one, I would take, I don't have another bobbin like that, but I would take and put my bobbin on here and put it through the thread and wind it as such. This one has the same photo eye across here. Instead of the little thumb screw on it, you now have a little Phillips screw. And once you set this, you can pretty much set it and forget it. The other thing that this one does have that the other one, the premium one, doesn't, is a little thread cutter. You just hook your thread underneath there and it cuts it. I won't say it cuts it real cleanly, but it cuts it. That is what winding a bobbin is like. And it's something that is very easily done. Some of the quilters that I know, they actually have their grandchildren help them wind bobbins. It's something they can do to help. And they feel really, really important coming and saying, Grandma, can I wind some bobbins for you? And thus you don't have to pay for the pre-wound prices and you get to have an interaction with your grandchildren. But that's the next step. And from here, we're going to go over to how to thread your machine.